if your knee is straight, definitely more glute. Once the knee starts to bend, you're going to kick in more hamstring. To change the position, your arms come out further. And what you would, actually have a hard time talking about doing it, but you want to keep your hips and shoulders in line. So if you watch people doing it, sometimes they'll be like, oh, alrighty, yeah, no big deal, but you want to keep it all locked in. So, one of my favorites.
So there's no torque on the lumbar spine?
Right. Definitely a little bit more advanced. And one of the other things that we do are called balance and reaches. It's in the textbook, actually.
Yes, it is.
And it's another nice way to kind of tweak a lunge. If you come into the clinic, you'll see we have a big round mat. It's got all these numbers marked on it. And what it is basically a single leg squat, reaching out. So if you don't have all these big round mats, you can even kind of use it as a yardstick. Use a yardstick or maybe some markings on the ground, and all it is kind of reaching out in front. And once again, it's triplanar movement out to the side, looking at valgus, looking at quality, what are the hips, what are the shoulders doing, and triplanar motion, transverse plane kind of coming up. And we do a lot of that. For a population that doesn't have the stability, I'd get a slider, frisbee, plastic baggie, and they could actually do the same thing while their foot's actually on the ground, so they actually have a little bit more stability that way. Want to try it?
Let's try it, because this really works it too.
Yeah. And you can measure it. It's kind of neat. And out. Keep your abs tight, right? And you keep your abs tight. You keep your glutes engaged. Too much more. It works down. So for some people, right now this is just enough. This is your sagittal plane motion right here. What does it look like? It looks like a deadlift. Okay. Is it safe for the spine? Yes, once again, because there's no movement, once again, through the core, right?
So I don't absorb energy from the bar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's our Pilates person? Pilates?
She's not.
As your back leg extends, you're kind of coming forward. It's almost like a deadlift. Okay. From that position, tighten your abdominals, squeeze your cheeks, rotate your hips inward with your shoulders, rotate your hips outward. Okay. Try with your knee bent, and try with your knee slightly straight, slightly bent. And it feels very different. And if you do feel like you have control over it, your arms go up wider. And when I watch a patient do it, I'm making sure that they're stable. I'm looking at what their knees are doing. I'm looking at their ability to control their pronation, supination, all that stuff together.
You got there.
Try to make time. Stop right there.
You got a millimeter or two.
Carrie, just not as good as I am.
What's the one section place to pull the hands down?
One of my favorites.
Yes.
You see a lot in sports medicine. 3 planes of motion. Sometimes when I don't
Balance
know
reach.
how to work with a patient or where, if anybody gets into sports medicine when they want to work with athletes, Gary Gray is kind of like the godfather of, he was the first one to talk about functional medicine, functional movements, sagittal plane, frontal plane, transverse plane. You want to look at where your patients move well. Some people will tell you that they move well going one way, they don't move well the other way, and you'll see it. You'll get them to lunge, you'll get them to do that triplanar lunge. And they'll, here, rock solid. Here they get to the side and they go, whoa, what's going on here? Maybe they don't move well in the frontal plane. So as a functional assessment, what I'll have them do is stand on one leg, reach forward, see how far they can go, compare bilaterally, compare in the frontal plane. Some people are really, really unstable here. And usually where people are most unstable is in the transverse plane because of so much more torsion and torque. And once again, we're talking about the lumbar spine. Lumbar spine tends to be most unstable with torque and torsion. So try it. Assess each other. It's just like a single leg squat. You look at the exact same things. When your heel comes off the ground, quality of motion in terms of valgus and varus. And then once again, you could actually measure it if you have a yardstick in front of you. And it's also an exercise. I do it at the gym.
Bird dog.
I'm gonna get you down on the ground. Yeah. All right, so, let's maybe face you that way a little bit. Or this way, what do you think? Cameras.
Yeah, you want me over there?
Not in block. All right, so bird dog. Progression. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. So you want to get your knees a little wider. You basically want to be square. Find neutral lordosis, dipping down through here. I'll go through the internal, external obliques. One of the things that I like to do, and it's almost like an assessment tool for me, is I get you raise your right arm. And when she raises her right arm, feel muscles kick out on the left side. When she raises her left arm, I'm going to feel the same thing, equal. I'm going to look at torsion. You'd be surprised if you have somebody who has really poor stability, they might not be able to do that. So here's a couple of tweaks from beginning to end. So for somebody who can't quite do a normal bird dog, there's weight shifting. You could either kind of weight shift your patient either side to side. And you could also shift them forward to backwards. Okay. Beginning would be to raise your right arm. I'd have the patient hold 3 to 5 seconds. And if you've never done it before, it's kind of neat the way things kind of kick in. And then left side. Can you feel it under my fingers how you kind of kick out? A lot of patients will be like, this is supposed to train my core. I don't feel nothing. But if your hands are right there, and if you go to raise your right arm, you'll feel it kick out nicely just under. You can get an abdominal brace. Once again, it's a good position to start teaching that, how to do that. That's upper extremity. Find the lordosis again. Tighten up. If you have somebody with weak shoulder stabilizers, it might be a good time to sort of say, I want you to push up and through here. Push up through here, like, yep, and then drop down through your lumbar spine and push up through here. Not your head. Head's neutral. Keeping nice and tight in through here. You want to slowly raise your right, let's go right leg back.
Let me just stop you there. That little simple move there, that is not an easy move for a lot of people to do that.
Yeah, a lot
What
of
she
people
just showed you.
what do you mean? So what I'll do is, I'm going to get into
We'll do that with the cervicals too. It's
cervical
good,
and
yeah.
thoracic. I'm going to poke you in the chest. I want you to push your chest away from the ground. Drop down through your lumbar spine. Tighten up your abdominals. All of a sudden you have what to think about, right? Okay. Stay nice and tight in through here. Tighten up. Nope. Keep your lordosis. Tighten up. Slowly raise your right leg, kind of kick back. Not too far, right there. My cue is think about a cup of water on your back. You don't want it to fall. And then slowly come back down, not allowing, you want zero movement. And she even moves just a little bit. Same thing on the other side. Tighten up. Push up. Nope. Head down. Push up right through here. Like I was poking in the chest. Drop down through here. Tighten up. And slowly raise your left leg. And she actually shifts a little bit to the right with that, so I would kind of cue her on that. Come on back in. Next progression is both arms. Same thing, push up through here. And you can actually start to see her serratus is starting to fatigue, and she's actually starting to get a little bit of, she's getting a little bit more scapula, a little bit of winging. Drop down, tighten up, push up. You're going to go right arm and left leg, tighten up first before you do anything. Think about a cup of water on your back, slowly, opposite arm and leg. And I'm going to get you to keep your arms a little bit lower because you can see that she'll kind of go, she's already dipping and she's in a little bit of lordosis. Come on back in. Drop down again, tighten up. I'm only going to get you to reach out halfway. Tighten up. And try that again. Better. Holding maximum of 7 to 8 seconds, slowly coming back in. Let's try the other side. Tighten up, drop down. Yep. Okay. And once again, you just want to watch because a lot of people will be like, whoa! And come on back in. The next progression to this is called a sweep. What we're going to do is we're actually going to go into not flexion, we want to maintain a normal lordosis. But as you reach out, as you come back in, you want to maintain your lordosis as you try to touch your knee and slowly go back out. So stay tight, push up, tighten, lordosis, lots to think about. Slowly reach out, not too far. Maintain that, maintain it, touch your knee. She goes into a little bit of flexion, but there's your spinal stability. It's a stillness that you get in the lumbar spine as you're doing that. You want to compare bilateral?
Sure.